now being recorded.
All right. I believe you can hear me, right? Okay, so if you can follow along, please do. I already shared the data set I'll be making use of today. I'm making use of these two data sets. This is just a small data set. Okay, so we'll take this product data set as, let's say, the fact table. All right, remember what we did in Power BI, and then we'll take this sales data set as we'll take the sales data set as our fact table, and we'll take the product data set as a dimension table. All right, so joins, everything, when you hear joins, it's all about linking or relating, combining two or more tables based on a related column. And the related column in this case is the primary key, right? So if you can see, say, in MySQL, joins are used to combine rows from two or more tables based on related columns between them. They're essential for working with relational database where the data is stored in multiple tables. All right, so there are types of join. If you watch the video, I would have played the video here on the call, but it will take time. So we have different kinds of join: inner join, left join, right join. Then we have full join, but there's a little note here. It's not supported in MySQL, but can be simulated using different a different keyword. All right. So we'll focus on, these are the main types of join we'll work on. All right. All of this you can try your hands on them later. It's self-explanatory. So once we can cover this, you are good to go using joins. All right. So I assume most of us have watched the video. At least it will help me clarify some things. But if you haven't watched the video, that does not mean you won't be able to follow through. Okay. So we'll go back to our SQL, and now I will show us how to create. Okay, I'll show us how to create a different table or how to create a database. It'll be very quick. We can, if you want to create a database, you don't need to use the keyword create a database. Okay. You just come over to this pane where you can see create a new schema. You click on it. All right. So you can name your new schema as, let's say, database. Use small letters, database. Okay. Okay, and next thing you apply. You can see these are all the databases we have here. So there's nothing like database. So if I click on database to come over here, if I click on apply, you see by default it's creating a new database. Okay, let me change it so that it will make more sense. We can say product DB. All right, so that's a database. You can click on apply. Okay, supposed to be in small letters. So product DB, create new schema, product DB. All right, so you can click on apply, executing SQL statement. So finish. You can see over here we have product DB. There was one named product base before, but this is product DB. Okay, so now let's say we want to import the tables, these tables you can see here. All right, sales and products. And I don't want to, I was explaining the last time that this is why we use this is if you want to create this syntax, create database. If not, these are just constraints. All right, so I already took time to explain this. So I think one of us was asking if there are other ways to create database. Yes, I replied yes, there are other ways to create database, but this is more standardized, best practice, and it helps you reduce errors, or you just constrain some things. So this is always the better approach to use. So any of them can go. So if you want to import database without writing all of these queries here, you just come to the if you want to import a table, rather you come to the database you want to make use of. Okay, so you say you can come over to the table here, right click on, you can see if you click on the drop down, it shows you tables. So if I right click on it, currently we don't have any tables here. But if I come over to let's come over to TEFEM here, click on this table, you can see different tables here, product table. All right, so come over to product DB, right click on it, you can see table data import wizard. All right, so this is another approach, but I won't recommend this. All right, so if you click on it, I'm just showing you so that in case you have different options, we'll choose the path. All right, so we have tables here. Okay, so product sales. So I'll click on products. Okay, we can only select one at a time. I don't think we can select two. Okay, just one at a time. So it's a CSV file. You click on it. All right. You see next. All right, so use existing table or create new table. Yes, create new table. Product DB. This is database and this is product, name of the table. All right, so click on next. So you can see and you match the colon, source colon, and the field type. The product ID. Come over here. The product table, you can see product ID is integer. You can see product name is text, category text, price text. So integer, text, integer, right? So we are good to go. So click on next. All right, import data. You click on next. So it's importing it. It's very fast, depending on the size. So finish importing task. All right, click on next. You can see 20 records imported. All right, so click on finish. So still on this. All right, so we've imported database already, so we can say, so I'll go over to import in other database. So right click on this table data import wizard, click on browse. All right, so click on our sales table. They are related tables. All right, so that's what I'm using for the class. Click on OK. All right, the same step. Next, use existing table. No, create a new table. All right, create a new table, sales. I don't know why this thing is not showing fully. So, but this is sales. That's the ending of the word. So click on next. So of course, remember when I mentioned when we're treating Power BI data modeling, so I mentioned that one of the characteristics of your facts table is that it contains metrics, right? And yeah, there are numbers that can be measured. So you can see all of them. We hardly have text in our fact table, except we are working with categorical data and you're not working with quantifying your data. So that's one of the characteristics with your fact table. So we'll take this as a fact table, and you have foreign keys also. Foreign keys, you can see occurrences, unlike primary keys that are unique. So if you see product ID, it's relating this sales table, which is our fact table, to our product table. So you can see product ID, all of them are unique, 1 to 20 unique values. All right. Unlike this product ID, 1 to, you can see 3 occurring multiple times. So this is a foreign key. All right. So you see sales ID, this is a unique ID because we are linking the sales table to the fact table, to the dimension product table. So we have all the IDs, the customer IDs, who is purchasing, and quantity and total price. So all of these are metrics. All right, so go over to where were we? Come here. So you can see all of them are integer. Let's be sure. Yes, they're all integer value. Sales ID, product ID, customer ID, quantity, total price. All right, so we check them. So next, they are imported. You can click on next. So you can click on finish 20 record imported. So I think we are good to go. We come over to okay. So the first line of query, right, is use, what's the name of our database now? Can say use product DB, right? You can hatch this query. Okay, it has run. So you can say Hello, can we hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
I hear you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about this experience. My internet just logged me out. I don't know. I'm trying to connect. Hmm. Can we hear me?
Yes, we can,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. Right. Sorry, I think my router just logged out. I had to reboot it and fix the antenna. I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes it's just shuts down on its own. So I hope it receives a stronger signal now. Maybe with the what's it called, the antenna. All right. So thank you. What was I? So yeah, we showed both tables, right? And we can use the select keyword to um, select from select from from products. Okay. So you can still copy this code. As you select from sales. Okay. So you can see both tables here, right? So this is our table. Let me reduce this. Okay. So this is our table. This is like the fact table here. I'll just show us how to join two tables together. If we select this, you can see these are product table, which is also like a dimension table joined in relation to the fact table. So back to joins. All right. So you can see this is the syntax. All right. Inner join is used to join or return rows where there is a match in both tables. And in one way we can match both tables is we can match. Now this is a product dimension table, okay, and it is related to the fact table by the sales by to the sales table, yes, which is our fact table, by the product ID. Remember when we're doing data modeling? So if we had another table that contains customers information, this will be our linking key to the fact table from the dimension table. So just picture it in your mind that we have a customer table that contains all the information of the customer, first name, surname, and whatever thing. And then we have the sales ID. So we have a sales table telling us transaction, date of transaction, linked by the primary key here. So, but for the sake of this class, we're just working with the product ID. So this is the syntax, all right? The inner join is used to return rows where there is a match in both columns. The syntax is select the column from what table and to what table are you joining based on the key, all right? So I'll explain it. So remember the select keyword is used to select the columns you want to return, all right? And then with what table are you joining? So this is usually one table to the other table you are joining. So in this case, we'll be joining information from the product table to the fact table. All right. So the syntax is usually this. From the main table to the other table you are joining based on this key, based on this keyword here, join. All right. And let's take a look at the on or the inner join keyword, what it does. So the on is used to define the join condition. All right. That's what the on is used for. So let's have a demo and see how it is used. Okay. And then the on is used to define, that's the keyword used to define how you want to link the table based on what. Remember, we're linking them based on the primary keys. All right. So if you take a look at this, you can see we are using the name of the table dot colon name. So it's used to specify. Normally we could just use the colon name itself, but since we're referring to a particular table, we have to make use of this syntax, the table name. So this could be the sales table, and then the primary key or the foreign key in the sales table, and then this could be the product table, and then the primary key. Okay. So I came up with some scenarios, I'll call them use cases that we can use to relate to what we are doing here. So this is a notepad I just drafted. Okay, so we'll see how we use them and how we can apply them. Okay, let's go back to any question before I progress. I've not shown any example. All right, so now let's examine the table now. If you take a look at this, this is a product table. We have all the product ID, and remember, this is the dimension table, and one of the characteristics of the dimension table is that all the entries must be unique. Okay, all the primary keys must be, so we have 1 2 3 4 5, everything's unique down to 20. Okay, so these are the product name, laptop that was sold, tablet that was sold. These are just the inventory we have and their unit price. But if we come over to the sales table, Okay, if you come over to the sales table, you can see that the product ID here is also listed here, but it's acting as a foreign key. We have 3 occurring twice. What else do we have occurring twice? We have 14 occurring twice. All right. Fifteen, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. All right. So that means this product, all right, was ordered. The product ID 3. Let's see what the product ID 3 holds. If you come over here, you can see the product here, smartphone. So probably smartphone was bought twice. Okay. If you come over to the sales table, okay, depending on the quantity that was bought. So now let's have a demo. This is a scenario. Okay, I'll explain. Just follow through. Let me copy this. I could paste this here and change it to a comment. All right. Let me use the multiple line comment. Okay, so right, so it says a store manager wants to know the names and categories of all products that have been sold. So take note of the keywords here. The names, all right. Are we following the names and then the category of all products? So this is referring to the product table that have been sold. So this is the keyword here. I want to display the name and the category. So we have 2 keywords. So let's do it like this. So I'll say select product name, okay, category, okay. So it says a product manager wants to know the names and the product categories of all the products that have been sold alongside with their sales quantity. So now when you're working as a a database manager, or you're managing your database, this is what you'll be seeing. All of this is happening in the background, in the back end. So you might not be seeing this except you run the queries like this. All right, except you won't see your sales table except you run the query sales before you can see it. So imagine you're working with a voluminous database, millions of rows, all right, day-to-day transactions are being recorded, or you have inventory of products. You were not see that. Look at you are selling laptop here, tablet, smartphone. Now imagine you want to add a smartwatch. I don't think there's a smartwatch here. I don't think there's a smartwatch here. So okay, we have a smartwatch. Okay, we have a smartwatch. Let's say we have headphones or headsets. You get your so every day transaction is being made. Every day you are adding to you are taking inventory, you're adding more product to what you are retailing, or you are wholesale, you are giving out as wholesales. All right. So you might not be able to see it at a glance. That's the reason I'm using this small data set, just 20 columns, so that we can see what it is. But in real scenarios, you might not be able to see the whole database. So now, as a store manager, you want to know the names and the categories of all the products that have been sold. That means if you have all of this, if you have, let me run this again. If you have all of these products, okay, here, and let's say you just add bicycle to this product, to this inventory, and you add bicycle today, that means no sales have been made for bicycle. All right. So that's what this query means. So you've made a lot of sales here. We can verify this by the fact table here. So let's say you add bicycle to the list now. Okay, that means you've not made any sales on bicycle. Okay, are we following? And now this is what the question means. You want to know the names and the categories of all the products that have been sold. That means you just want to return all these items that have been sold. Save the only item that have not been sold. In this case, bicycle. All right. So you want to just see it. Okay, this category is wrong. So I'm trying to follow the question now. And I'm trying to use a real world scenario. All right. So we'll say alongside with their sales and quantities. So when you hear the word quantities, of course, it's referring to this. Where is my fact table? Okay, it's referring to this quantity. So we want to return the quantity. That means if laptop was sold, return the quantity of laptops that were sold. So laptop have a product ID of 1. All right. So this is real world scenario. It has a quantity of 1. So you will go to product ID, look at it, 1 is appearing here. So if we trace it, 2 quantities were sold. So 2 times the unit price. Let's take a look at the unit price. The unit price is $1,000. So 2 times $1,000. This is total price. It has given you 2K. Okay. So look at the question, because in the real sense of things, all right, this is how interview questions will come. Are you seeing how simple it's just it won't there's nothing really hard here, but this is the way interview questions come. A store manager wants to know the names and categories of all the products that have been sold alongside their sales and quantity. Write the line of query or return this using, they'll give you a data set like this. Okay, some of the interviews you maybe as you progress, you give you data set like this. Now write the query that will return the answer. So of course you will just know that it is join. All right. So we're still trying to dissect the question. It's like a word problem. Follow me. The store manager wants to know the names. Yes, we've written the product name, the categories, of course, written alongside with their sales quantity. So you know that we are returning quantity. So we say, oh, let me see what they wrote here. Okay, quantity spelled as quantity. All right. Okay, so we say quantity. Are we together? Alongside their sales. When you hear the word sales, what does that mean, class? Does anyone want to give it a try? So you see how I'm breaking it into chunks now. This is how real questions are. You won't see select, join. You just give you word problems. So now what's the other quantity? What's the other column will return, class? From you see how I've broken the question down. Anyone? Are we following? Let me be sure. Iyanu, okay.
Yes, good evening. The sales quantity, that's the quantity sold.
Yes,
right?
but it's, yes.
Yes.
So when you hear the word sales too, it's like a word problem. Okay, sales, total sales made is also revenue. So in this case, you can, it's optional anyway, you can decide to add the sales, the revenue. So I'm just showing how to break things down. I don't just want to give us I just want to show us the syntax and then we don't know how to apply them. Look at it, this is just the syntax. This is another example here in the notes. I will share the notes with you also. So this is just a small example. Okay, the examples here too that I can work with. Right. But I'm giving you practical business scenarios, real world questions. So let's see what we have here. So we can say total price. All right. So, but now how are we going to specify? How are we going to? The thing is that how are we going to specify? Where is this thing now? How many tabs are open? So we can say total price okay from So now from which table? Okay, so the store manager wants to know the names and categories of all the products. So we are selecting it from the product table according to the syntax. Product, all right. So we can say now how are we going to join it? If you look at the note again, this is the syntax. Just to understand the syntax, okay, select the colons from what table. So we're returning all of this from the product table. And how do you want to join it? Because we can't, the product table alone is insufficient to answer the question. So we have to link it with our primary key. That's what join is all about. We are linking two or more tables with a related colon. So the related colon now, since we're working with the product table, it suggests to you that you are going to work with the related colon, and in this case the related colon is the product ID. If the question says a store manager wants to know the names of the employees, okay, you just know that is the employee table, or want to know the names of our customer, you just know that is the customer table. But this one now, you see the store manager wants to know the names and categories of all products. So it suggests to you that is the product table. I remember that joining in SQL is done based on related colons. All right. So from product, so we use the syntax InnerJoin. Okay. InnerJoin. Okay. You can see InnerJoin to the second table, the table name. So we're joining two tables from the product table and we're relating it based on the primary key. So InnerJoin what? InnerJoin sales. That's the name of our table, sales table. Remember we have two tables here, product and sales. Okay. So product and sales. So how do you want to join it now? So that's the keyword, join on. I'm trying to explain it as much as I can. So it's used to joins are used to combine rows from two or more tables based on a related colon between them. Related, they must be similar. So what are we joining them with? We're joining them with their ID. So this is product. You have the product ID, which is a primary key, 100% unique. And then we have the sales table. The sales table is a foreign key product ID. It can occur multiple times. You can see 3 is occurring twice, 14 is occurring twice. That means this product was sold twice. That's what it means. So now the question says return all the names of the products that have been sold. So we say, so now how do we specify? We have two primary keys here. We have two IDs rather. One is a primary key and one is a foreign key. So, but how do we specify that we want to join? We want to use this ID from the sales table and this one from the product table. So we have to specify the table name, okay, this is the syntax. You see table name dot colon, table name dot colon. So we have to specify that this is the, so just in case we are joining another table now, if we are joining employee table, we are joining because the information about the customer or the location. So it will be location dot. But in this case, we are using product so that we specify that we are joining products. We want to join the product table. That's the product ID. If you really understood the data modeling that I taught in Power BI, I took time to explain how we can this is what happens in the background in Power BI when you want to calculate all the total sales that were made in, let's say, in North Korea on one state or one product. When you're working with the data model, all right, or a schema. So join product ID, okay, equal sales dot product ID. Okay. So this is it. We put our, what's it called, semicolon. So we've answered this question. A store manager wants to know the names, product name, category, quantity, total price. All right. That's, which is also, this can be revenue, or this can also be total sales. Total price is the cost, unit cost times the, what was it again? What's that formula? So this is from the product table, join it to the sales table based on what? Remember match queries. This is what's happening here. All right. So if we run it, one more thing, I think, so we must specify. The query can run like this, but okay, let me show some. Let me just run this query. Control Enter. So you can see this is the result of the query. Okay, I will interpret it now. So what does the question say again? The question says the store manager wants to know the names and categories of all the products that have been sold along with their. So we want to know all that have been sold. So if you come look at it now, that means laptop have been sold, and laptops under this category, tablet, all of these have been sold. 20 rows have been returned. Okay, and this is the total sales we made on each of them. So you see how we've linked two tables together. Okay, so product ID, the product ID here, they are unique. But if you come over here, this is the product ID, which is a foreign key. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. We don't have 4 here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We don't have 13. We have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay. Let's confirm something. Okay. So you see all the products that have been sold. What does this suggest now? This is the fact table contains all our transactions. We don't have 4 here. We have 1, 2. Okay, that means, let's say we just newly added, look at it, product table. We just newly added desktop. Desktop 4 represents desktop here. And we don't have, what don't we have again? We don't have 4, 10, 11, 12. We don't have 13. I see, we don't have 13. So let's see what 13 represents. 13 is microphone. So desktop and microphone, let's say they were just newly added to our new product. Say, oh, I think we should start selling microphone and desktop. But since we put it in our part of our inventory, nobody has bought, nobody has ordered it. So now let's take a look at this. You can see we don't have desktop here. We only have laptop, tablet, smartphone. Smartphone has been sold twice. Let's see what smartphone is. Smartphone is 3. And look at it, 3 here occurs twice. That's why it's occurring twice. Okay. Now let's look at monitor, keyboard, mouse, printer, router, webcam, headphones, speaker, charger. Okay, charger was sold once. The person that bought it bought 1. The second time, the person bought 3 chargers. I think this should be. Let's look at chargers. 14. So you can see in our fact table, we have charger 14 appearing twice. So that means desktop and microphone have not been sold. So if you look at this question, if you want to relate it in real scenario, it says a store manager wants to know the names and categories of all the products. So just the names of all the products that have been sold. That means don't return the product that have not been sold. This was happening here. And how did we do that? We did it using the InnerJoin. All right. So it only returns all the rows that have the unique ID. So if you watch that previous video to explain better in a visual sense of it. All right, let me stop talking here. I don't know if do we understand my example I'm giving? Do we understand? If you don't understand, let me know, please. Hello, are we together, class?
Yes, sir.
Any question? Yeah. No question. Seems everybody understands. I was all along while I was preparing for this class, I was just thinking. I was thinking on how I will be able to convey the knowledge or pass it across, because joint is something that sometimes it can be tricky. So everyone understands. Well, I didn't expect it. Are we good so that I can progress? Okay, so this is what's happening in real, like, I didn't just want to throw the join at us without giving a real world scenario. So this is what you'll be doing in SQL. When you're writing queries, you're trying to understand what they're doing, right? You're using joins. This is what you'll be using. So best practice, this is how you write where you're selecting because you'll be working with several tables. All right, so imagine let me break this down. Okay, so because you are working with several tables, the example I'm giving is just limited to 2 tables. Okay, so because you are working with several tables in your SQL, your database, there are chances that in different tables you might have the same column name. So remember, we're just working with 2 tables here: sales and facts, sales and product table. Imagine we now have a location table, another Excel sheet. We have sales method, just like the project we worked on Power BI. We have what other thing again? Customer information. We have dates. Okay, so that there won't be error, you have to specify the column, the table you are calling the column name from. So in this case, since the product name is associated with the product table, so this we would write products behind it. So I didn't want to just confuse us with a lot of information. So write products dot. Okay, this is also from the product table, product dot. So it's like the table name and the column name. Quantity. Now you see, this quantity is not in the product table. The quantity is in the facts table, which is the sales table. Look at it, quantity. So we have to specify it just in case you are writing multiple queries, all right, or complex queries. So we say sales dot quantity. Likewise here, sales dot quantity. All right. So this is from our product table, InnerJoin, sales, and the on keyword. So if I still run it, if I execute it, it will. Are you seeing? So this is how you write it, standard practice. Okay, we have 2 people raise up their hands. Duru, Deborah, go ahead. I can't hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, so I
Your
just want
voice
to
is low.
ask,
Can you speak
since we
up
are
louder?
joining like, hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Hello.
Yes, I can. Go
So
ahead.
I just want to ask, I want to ask, since we are joining like three dimensions to dimension table, when we are joining one dimension table with the fact table, so what if we are joining like three dimension table with fact table? How will you write?
Okay. So most of the times, all right, you get to join two tables. Most of the times, you get to join two tables. But I'll come to that in the later class. All right. So let's just see. Let's grasp this basic first, because that one is now becoming more complex, right? So, but most of the times you have need to write with just two what's it called, with just two dimension tables. Okay, so I'm trying to lay a foundation here. So those ones, it's a bit complex. So let's just try to get this first. All right. So after because after inner join, there are other types of joins. Okay. So we'll come to that. Any other question? I want to know that we are understanding, please. Let me so that I can progress. Are we good to go? Okay. So let's see if we can take another example. Now this is for inner join, all right? So let's check outer left join. Left join. Where is my notes? So this is inner join. Okay. Let's look at what outer join does. Left outer join. So it's categorized as join, inner join, and outer join. But the outer join is now categorized into left join and right join. All right. So the left join, it returns all the rows from the left table, right, and the matched rows from the right table. So like I said, most of the times you will always be working with two dimension tables. Most of the times, that's why the queries are designed to accommodate that. So it says a left join returns all the rows from the left table and the matched rows from the right table. If there is no match, a null values are returned. I think who dropped that in the comments section? I think that's Rachel. Okay, so well done, Rachel, you did a good job there. All right, so take note of the null value. So a left join returns all the rows from the left table. So now we're working with two tables. Okay, we're using product ID as our right table and the sales table as our left table. Right. So let's take a look at the note again. So the left join returns all the rows from the left table and the matched rows from the right table. If there is no match, no values are returned for the right table column. All right. So let's work on another demo using another business case scenario. So let's check this. Okay. So Okay. So it says a business analyst, okay, wants to calculate the total revenue generated by each product that has been sold. So how do we go about that now? I'll try to put into context now using the left join. So let's copy, because of time, let's copy this query and put it here. Okay. So let's look at the question together. Okay. All right, I think this one's still, no, this one is still for, this one will still work for InnerJoin. Let me not waste time with that. Let me look at, okay, let's look at something opposite. Okay, so we're still looking at that business scenario. We still go for InnerJoin. I want to work with left join because of time. All right. So the same store manager now wants to find products that have not been sold. Okay, products that have not been sold. So remember, we worked on products that have been sold, So now products have not been sold. Let's see how we can do this using the left outer join. Okay, so we'll copy this query here. Control C, Control V. Okay. So it says the store manager wants to find just products alone that have not been sold. So we can get rid of all of this. All right. Take this comma away. Okay. So how do we do that now? The store manager wants to find products that have not been sold. Okay. Let me check for documents. Can we still see my screen? Excel sheet rather. Okay, so back to the same scenario I was giving. Now this is just a product inventory here. If we want to know whether these have been sold, we'll have to check with the transaction. That's the fact table that contains all our transactions, day-to-day transactions, right? So remember the ones that have not been sold. When we run this query, okay, see what returned. All of these returned except, remember, microphone and desktop 4, product ID 4, and product ID 13. Right. So now doesn't that suggest that when we run the query, those things should return? Because the question says we want to find out the product that have not been sold, and we can only know that based on our fact table. So you see that product ID 4 was not recorded here on our fact table, and product ID 13 was not recorded on our fact table. So if we run the inner join, left inner join, okay, we say left join, we change it to left join, change it to left join, and then we select, we add our sales ID here, because we want to see the product that have not been sold, and it is the sales ID that can tell us that. Okay, so we are linking the product table and the sales table now. Okay, so I add the sales ID here, sales dot sales ID. Okay, so from sales, let's check everything is correct. Okay, I think we are good to go. Let's run this. Oops. Is it running at all? Let's check. Okay, okay. I think I've spotted something. Okay. I needed to add one more query where sales dot id. Sorry. This is the name of the table and the column name, sales ID. We use the keyword is null. Remember, we have not null and is null. So if we run this, I think this should work now. Is still not running? Let's check what the error is. Sales ID. Let's check the column name. Okay, sales ID, not sales ID. Where did I make that mistake? Sales ID. Okay, that's the column name. Okay, I think this should work now. Okay, so you can see desktop and the microphone. So let's take a look at the note again. It says the left join, it returns all the row of the left table and the matched row from the right table. If there is no match, null value are returned for the right table columns. So the right table in this case is the sales, that's the sales table. This is our right table, the sales table. Okay, and this is the left table. So if you look at it, it says it returns all all rows from the left table. So this is the row that it returns from the left table. The left table is the product table, desktop. So look at it. So this is our left table, left, and this is the left table from left to right. So this is left from left to the right. You get, so we're using a left join. So it returns all the tables, all the rows from the left table and the matched rows from the right table. What is the matched rows from the right table here? The matched rows from the right table. Battery is running low. All right, so the match table from the match row rather from the right table is the sales ID that we're using to link it up. Do we understand? Hello, do we understand? Okay. Give me a minute. Let me log in with other device. Any question? Any question? If there's no question, I'll ask my own question. Okay, Modupe, can you explain what I just did, or what you, or let's explain how you understand it. Hold on. Modupe, are you there?
Yes, I am. I didn't get your question. Please, I'm inside transit. I didn't hear you well.
All right, hold on. Inspire. Let me pick call on names. Inspire, are you there? Mary Jane, I'll call names. So people don't want to answer. I'm coming. Let me try and sort this out.
Oh, hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead if you can hear me.
Okay, so what I understood from the left join, so we're trying to find out the product that was not sold, and so you selected the column product name from the product table, and then the sales ID, because that's where you know products that were sold actually have like a sales ID. And so from it, where you selected the column product name from the product table, and then the left join was happening on the sales table. And what you were using to do the join was with the product ID. So, and what was going to be returned is null, like where the sales did not, where the products that there was no sales, we return null. I hope that's it, sure. That's what I understood.
Okay. Okay. I think we have. How many of us have watched that video I shared? Okay. Okay. Because it's really it gives you a pictorial view of what's happening. Right. So it will help. Please, I'm trying to log in with my other device. Right. So we'll work on our project on Friday. Hopefully on Friday. If we can't finish it, we will continue on Saturday. So today is. I hope today will be our last class. Let me just touch um, one or more examples of the join. Get so please do well to be a part. All right, do well to be a part. So Friday, Saturday. We won't have class on Sunday. All right. I hope I don't know if admin is on the call. Should address us on how we'll progress from here. Okay. Is anyone following with the class real time with the data sets? Any person?
Do you mean the data set that you just shared today, or which data set are you referring to?
Yes, the data set that I just shared.
Okay. We're happy. Have you
Can
shared
you
the
mute
link,
your mic,
please? Because I don't.
please? All right, because of your background. Yes, I've already shared the link. I've shared the link already. It's if you check the SQL link, there's the class where the folder data sets. The folder data set, it's there. Okay, so and this is taking time to boot. So let me see if I can still touch one example, the left join or the right join rather. Deborah, your hands are up.
Yes, so I want to know in this join.
Your volume is low.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I want to know which table in that query is the left one. I don't know. Is it the product or the sales? That is the left that it will return all the rows in the
Yes, so the product is the let me please hold on. The product is the left table.
okay.
The product, the product because the product Yan, go ahead. The product is the left table because it contains the unique ID. Yan,
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Ife. I wanted to also understand when we say left table and right table. What I felt I understood by it is if we are writing our syntax and when we get to from, maybe we want to, okay, select so from a table, that table will be considered as the left table. Then we'll now say join or right join. Then the one we are joining will now be the right table. I don't understand, because the right table will, if we are right joining, the right table is supposed to populate everything on there. Then the left table cannot have no. So which one will now be I believe that is the one that we have the from, the one we are taking it from. Then the one we are joining will now be the right. Am I correct?
Okay. It is the syntax. So sometimes there's the syntax is the syntax is absolute. So the way you understand it will not, the syntax is absolute. So you are the variable, in the sense that if you think of it that way, all right, it might not, because if you take a look at it now, let me share my screen. Okay, sorry, I don't know, it's just my system taking another time to, let me see what I can do before this one goes off. So if you look at it, can we see my screen?
No, we can't. I don't know if I'm the only one. Why?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
I
we
think we
can
have
now.
other
We
people
can.
can see. So it says this is the um this is the left table, all right. How would you know? So we are matching. Let me, the notes will explain it better. Mm, mm, Now, if you run this, let me run this. Now you can see that under the sales ID, we have just null, both null value. That means there was no record. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? That's fine. Mhm. Hello, can you hear me?
Very well, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. All right. So sorry about the whole lag. Let me just try and wrap up with the remaining two, with the remaining example rather, using the right join. All right, because it's already past time now. Um, so with the right join is just the opposite of what's it called? The opposite of the left join. All right. That's what we have here. Okay. What's happening? Mm. Okay. So if we want to use the right join now, I think let's look at all right. So the left join, it returns what's it called? It returns all the rows from the left table, all right, and then the match rows from the right table. If there's no match, no value are returned from the right table. Okay, see, this will help. This will help. If you've not watched that video on the group chat, go through it. All right, it will just give you a pictorial view of what we are doing. All right, so that you understand better. So if I'm just looking at it using the queries alone, you might not really pick it. All right, so look at it now. The right join, okay. The right join is the opposite of the left join. It returns all the rows from the right table and the match rows from the left table. If there is no match, no values are returned for the left table. Okay, so it's just the exact opposite, the same syntax. Select colon from what table are you trying to match and what table are you joining it to. And then using the on keyword, you specify the table name and then the colon name. Okay, and also you specify the table name rather, and then the colon name. So let me be sure to that I have my colon. Okay, so I have my sales table here. So now this is an application. I don't have that written note here, but so it's doing exactly what the left join did. So we say select, begin to write. All these things takes time. Select product. Let me go without this because of time. But let's just see what we can do. Select product dot product name. I wish I had the same um, query here. I would have just copied it and put. Okay. Sales ID. Sales dot sales. Okay, there's nothing like sales ID. Sales dot quantity. Do sales dot total price. trying to replicate what the left join did. Right, so from this will be from products. Okay, to use the right join keyword here. Right join on sales. So remember, we use the related column, right, which is the product ID and the product the sales, the product ID. Yes, both ID. So say sales, sorry, we'll say product ID, product table ID. So product, that's the product, the table name, and then the product ID. Join it on sales. So this is the primary ID, and then this sales is the foreign key. Product ID. Okay. So you use the keyword where products table, the product name. To explain this code, this query for us rather, where product is null. Okay. Yes, still a look at. All right, all of this come out. Okay, why is this showing? Okay. Products ID, unknown colon says products ID. Products ID, where is that mistake? Okay, we don't have products ID here. So always take note of your keywords. Shouldn't be showing me error. No. Mhm. So what I'm trying to do now is to reflect what the left join did. Remember the left join? I don't have this thing here. Remember the left join? The example we're trying to give you was to return the product that were not sold. All right, using to by identifying it with their sales ID, and to return the colons for that entry with a null value. So now I'm trying to return the exact same thing, but then with their product name. Okay, using the right join. I'm coming. I think something is wrong here. I'm trying to figure it out. Product ID. I don't think it should be returning 0. Okay, Chika, I know what's happening. So what this means is that there is no, if you take a look at it now, it's returning no record. Okay, which means that there is no product that have been sold. There's no product that have been sold that does not have any. Okay, let me read this out. So return the product name, okay, and then the product ID, the sales quantity from the sales table, and the total price from product table. All right, join it on the sales table. So we're using their unique ID. So what this means is that return the product name where product name is null. That's why it's not returning any value. So that means that all the records that have been, all the inventory we have, all right, that have been sold, that has this, that is represented in the sales table now. Okay, that's what it means there. So return only the product name where the product name is null. So from that data set I shared, okay, we saw that everything that is on the product table, there's no null value that is reflecting in the sales table, the sales fact table. That's why it's returning null. All right. Well, let me see if I can replicate this code for the left join so that we'll understand better. Let me copy this. Control C. I can't see, I can't trace just because I changed the device I was using. As I'm finding it difficult to. I'm trying. So this was a left join I did before. Okay, I think what was I looking for? I was looking for where the sales ID is null. Changes to sales. Maybe left join. Okay, let's run this. Right, so you see that from our product table, all right, we have this item listed, desktop and microphone, but on the sales table, we didn't have any transaction. That's why it's showing null. So this is the left join. So it's returning it based on the information on the fact table. But the right join is returning the information based on the dimension table. Do we understand? Okay, so maybe before we work on our project, I'll just put everything together so that we understand. But just to get more clarification, I would recommend you look at that video I shared, right? So it will help your understanding to see what I'm doing using these two tables, right? So in our next class, which is on Wednesday, I'll maybe, if there's time, I'll do a recap on this again, but go over those videos, okay? Reference that video, and then this today's class. Sorry, it's a bit, not a bit. Sorry, it's just a bit, a little it's funny yet the way everything just went today. So it's almost, I almost lost my flow of thought because of the whole thing. So just try and visit that material, right, and then look at this video. I think it will help. So, but I'll make more clarification on it in our next class. In case I forget, someone should remind me, please. Right. But any question, anything you want clarity on, I could just do that maybe in a couple of minutes I before we end the call. Any clarification? That means, do we understand the concept of join? Okay, it's all right. So I assume we have maybe understanding on it. Okay, so like I said, in our next class, I would walk us through a project. If time does not permit us, all right, we would have an extended class on Saturday. So if you can't join in, you can catch up with the video as well. All right. So that being said, I think okay, Raphael, your hands are up.
Good evening, sir. Please,
Yeah.
are you going to share the material
Which material?
for today's class?
Yes. So I've dropped some already. Okay, from those aggregate functions and the data set. So this data set I'm currently using, it's there on the drive already. It's the same SQL drive, the link. I told you, I've told us bookmark the link so that we don't keep on looking for it. So that you just go to your drive, you go to where you've started it, and you see it there. So you see a folder called, I think, practice dataset or something like that. Yes, that this file is already there. I uploaded it this morning or this afternoon. All right. So this material too, I'll share it there. Okay, if we have time, we'll go over this again. We're just trying to work with time. All right. So I really saw the need to teach joins because you must have understanding of joins. One function or is one um, query you make use of most of the time you are working with in SQL. So I'll share the material definitely. All right. I'll share the notes too. If we have time, we'll just go gloss over it again. All right. So if you'll be watching this video later on and you've not watched the video I referenced, please do. All right, it will give you a very clear understanding, visual representation of what's happening back end. All right, so this is just in written format. All right, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Any other question? Any other concern before we call it a day? Apologies for the whole glitch. All right. Okay, so in the absence of any other thing, so we'll call it a day here. All right. Try to go over it, and what we'll be doing, our project will be a walkthrough or a rundown of all we've done in SQL in the last few weeks. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. Welcome. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, sir.